Welcome to VetRospective. I'm Doc.
I'm Chuck.
Today we're going to start our series on the Constitution because these days it just doesn't seem like that many people have even read it. Today we're going to start with the First Amendment.
Okay, First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, comma, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, semicolon, or abridging the freedom of speech, comma, or of the press, semicolon, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble, comma, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Hey, what the fuck's redress mean?
Redress over on dictionary.com basically says setting right of what is wrong.
So when you fuck up, we get to bitch at you and you're supposed to change it back.
Exactly. Basically correcting a grievance, which a grievance is basically a complaint based on a circumstance or an act of inflicting hardship or harm or causing hardship or harm.
So I kind of had to do it backwards so we could lead back to the first part, which is really our first vocabulary word, I think, which would be abridging, right?
Yeah.
So let's read that part and explain it for the listeners.
Okay, basically taking that section after the semicolon, Congress shall make no law respecting the abridging of the freedom of speech. Abridging is basically the separate tense of abridge, which basically means to lessen or diminish, or to deprive or cut off. Basically saying Congress has no right to make any law that cuts off or cuts short anything that you wish to say. Basically, you're allowed to say whatever your opinions are.
There's a reason for that, because good speech, bad speech, all speech, free speech. And really, that's the only way we learn to grow and adapt, is by hearing what everybody has to say, whether you like it or not.
I mean, there for a while, it was considered bad speech and against the government and against religion to say the earth was a globe.
Listen, we already had this talk. I'm not getting into the flat earth speech with you right now.
Hey, but I'm free to talk about it.
Hey, you're right. It's not right now.
Also added to that is freedom of the press, which doesn't give the press free rein to just do whatever they want. Press can still get sued as an organization, but basically you or I could go out and make our own newspaper, make our own magazine, make our own video podcast, make our own audio podcast. We can do whatever the fuck we want as individuals.
Also, you can be depressed too. Nobody stops you. Nobody makes that rule who isn't depressed. Press is anybody who's going out and putting out realistic news. That's fake bullshit.
Well, and I don't remember who it was that put it out back in, it was the early 2000s. There was a big deal going around the internet saying, don't hate the media, become the media. And I don't know why that never caught on. Social media came out and people started posting pictures of their fucking lunch, which that wasn't helpful.
That was no bueno. So basically, the First Amendment is telling you you have the right to religion and that you have the right to free speech, and Congress can pass no laws against it. Now, there's things you should say, there's things you shouldn't say. You know what you should say and what you shouldn't say. That's not even a question.
Well, and I mean, there's people out there that want to test the limits of things, but I mean, 5-year-olds seem to do the same thing.
It's true.
And I mean, beyond just exercising a religion or being part of whatever religion you want to be part of, it says specifically you can establish your own religion.
Hey, listen, just to say that the Force isn't a real thing.
Is that why so many people in the military have Jedi on their dog tags?
I have fucking Jedi on my dog tags, motherfucker. Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. I don't know if, what was it, this flying spaghetti monster religion fits on a little nameplate.
Listen, may the Force be with you. So the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason. It's the most important one we have. Other countries don't have freedom of speech. You really can't prove one that does. There's cases in every country where they're locking people up for what they're saying. This one, it's a little better off than any other. However, they're doing illegal raids on politicians and fucking prominent fucking people in the media right now. So what do I know?
Well, it's really coming down the line where, I mean, really, how long can we hold on to the freedom of speech? I mean, there's different cases going on currently where they're talking about taking away somebody's freedom of the press on a platform that they built themselves. I mean, they've already kicked him off of other platforms, and now they're trying to take away the platform that the only platform he's got left he built himself. And I don't know if we can say that name because that might get us kicked off YouTube.
I give a fuck. Fuck YouTube. Fucking Alex Jones, Alex Jones, Alex Jones. I mean, my only problem with Alex Jones is he fucking seems like he's taking a handful of meth before every show. The fucker needs to calm down before his heart explodes.
And it might be the like veteran comedian in the back of my head is like sitting there listening to some of the commercials he runs in the show. Like I can't help but like come up with some
Frogs
off the
again.
wall shit.
They're making the frog cake. Well, little boys want to cut off their wieners and little girls want to fucking cut off their boobies now. So maybe you might have been right. The problem with Alex Jones, the people that don't like, is Alex Jones came out like way before most people, and he was reporting shit and he was putting shit out, and it was all true. It was all shit that he was finding in government documents that were being declassified since the 90s. So they didn't like the fact that he was taking their documents. They thought they were just going to declassify and slide under the public's nose. And he was going, hey, look at this shit. Some of the shit he said was ridiculous. But most of it came true. So I'm going to tell you.
Well, and part of what that is, I mean, quite frankly, it's like the people in charge of shit don't believe that the common person could read those documents.
Have you ever heard of the shit that comes out their mouth? And the common people are like 10 times more intelligent than all of them.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to Nancy Pelosi or Schumer or any of them people?
Pelosi hasn't been sober enough to understand in probably 15 years.
Like, how are you going to sit there and push fucking away from fossil fuels and try to get on this new green fucking agenda? Listen, I'm all for it. How about we build the infrastructure? And you go ahead and leave oil and gasoline while you research and develop actual shit that works. You know, besides solar panels, they go bad and are filling up landfills all over North America, or I don't know, leaking fucking wind fucking turbines, or pick one.
Well, but I mean,
how about we're gonna go and get electric cars that run off of coal?
Well, but this is coming from the same people that think that once you use a magazine, it's no longer usable. And who was it? It was Hank Johnson back in Congress a few years back that thought that if they built another military base on Guam, it would tip over and capsize. Like they, like the caliber idiot that thinks that a fucking island is floating.
It'll flip you over.
I think C-SPAN put it out, like it aired it and everything. Like he's literally tried to set it up and say, "Oh yeah, we can't add this extra equipment to Guam because we're gonna flip the island over. It's gonna capsize and sink." These are the people that think that they're smarter than the people that put them in power. Which, I mean, there's something to say about that.
I mean, not really. Here's something to think about. When we were kids, like you grew up, it was the end of like a violent era in America. I'm sorry to say this, like, yeah, Desert Storm was a real thing, but was it? Like compared to fucking Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring fucking Freedom, any of those fucking things we did in the war, any of those operations, like was it Desert Storm over in like 6 months? Like we walked in there, kicked their ass, and walked out.
Yeah, pretty much. Cut off all their oil and gas pipelines, which I mean, kind of sounds something similar to what's happening currently. But that's that's a whole other story too.
Yeah, that's another show. So it makes you wonder. I heard Hillary's thinking about running again. Oh, isn't that going to be wonderful?
Oh hell, and I just saw it too. Fucking I guess Biden confirmed today that he's running again.
Oh, then Hillary's not running. Did he really? Like that old man's gonna fall over dead.
Hell, he can only take one more fall off a bicycle.
He's fucking embarrassing. He ain't running anything either. He's just going up there and saying what they're telling him to.
Yeah. Apparently, he told Al Sharpton that he will run in 2024.
Al Sharpton's still alive?
Somehow, I guess he didn't. Never mind. I ain't gonna say nothing about who might not have took a shot.
So, First Amendment, super important. If you liked our show, like or subscribe, comment if you want. The next episode is going to come out soon. Start hitting up some of the American presidents. Doesn't seem like a lot of people know the history of America, and we want to push that out there.
Well, and another thing too is that's why we're covering the articles and the amendments of the Constitution is everybody says they know what's in the Constitution, but do they know? How many people have sat and broken down what each part of the amendments mean, as opposed to just what they heard on some bullshit video, which we're definitely trying not to be. So nobody else wants to cover things like that, we will.